I never thought the people who raised me would one day drag me into a courtroom and call me a liar, a fraud, and a disgrace to our family name. My name is Elena, and for most of my life, I carried a secret I believed would make my family proud. Instead, it shattered us. Growing up, I was always the quiet one, the girl who followed rules, who studied hard, and who dreamed of serving something bigger than myself. At 22, I made a choice that changed everything. I enlisted in the army, not for glory, not for attention, but because I genuinely wanted to serve. What started as a standard path turned into something extraordinary after a classified operation in the Middle East. I can't share every detail, even now, but I rose through the ranks quietly, earned respect that had nothing to do with favoritism, and everything to do with sacrifice. When I finally came home after 12 years, I carried invisible scars and silent honors. I didn't wear my uniform everywhere. I didn't boast. I simply wanted to rebuild a normal life and be close to my family again. My father had passed away 2 years earlier, and my mother's health was failing. I thought my presence would bring comfort. Instead, it brought suspicion. My older brother Marcus and my sister Claire never believed my stories. To them, I was still little Elena who used to play dress-up. You? A high-ranking officer? Please, Marcus would scoff. You probably just worked in an office somewhere. Claire would laugh nervously and change the subject. I let it go. I told myself blood is thicker than pride. But everything exploded after Mom passed. The will reading should have been a moment of grief and unity. Instead, it became the beginning of war. Dad had left a significant estate, properties, investments, and savings built over decades. A portion was meant for me, tied to a clause recognizing my years of military service. That's when my siblings turned on me. They accused me of forging documents, faking my discharge papers, and lying about my rank to steal money that rightfully belonged to them. Within weeks, they filed a lawsuit. They wanted me declared mentally unfit, my service records thrown out, and my inheritance revoked. They called me a con artist who had embarrassed the family. The day I received the court papers, I sat on my kitchen floor and cried like a child. These were the same hands that held me when I had nightmares as a little girl. Now they were signing documents to destroy me. I felt completely alone, betrayed, broken. But what I didn't know was that the truth was about to walk into that courtroom wearing 4 stars on its shoulders. The months leading up to the hearing were the darkest of my life. My own family painted me as a pathological liar in public filings. They dug up old photos from my teenage years and used them as evidence that I was never military material. They contacted distant relatives, spreading rumors that I had been discharged for misconduct. Friends I thought would stand by me slowly distanced themselves. The humiliation was suffocating. I would lie awake at night replaying childhood memories, family dinners, vacations, Dad's proud smile when I told him I enlisted. How did we get here? Was my success really that threatening to them? In court, it only got worse. Their lawyer stood up and said with a straight face, "Your Honor, the defendant has fabricated an entire military career for personal gain. There is no proof she ever achieved the rank she claims." Marcus sat there, avoiding my eyes. Claire wiped fake tears, playing the victim. I felt my heart physically ache. When it was my turn to speak, my voice trembled. I explained my service, the missions I couldn't fully describe, the promotions I had earned. But without high-level verification, it sounded like a desperate story. I saw doubt in the judge's eyes. During a recess, Marcus cornered me in the hallway. "Just drop it, Elena. Admit you exaggerated. We can settle this quietly and still be family." His words cut deeper than any insult. In that moment, I realized they didn't just want the money. They wanted to erase who I had become, because the real me made them feel small. I was ready to lose everything. I had already lost my family. The betrayal felt heavier than any burden I carried overseas. Then came the day that changed it all. We were back in session. My lawyer was presenting what little unclassified records we had when the courtroom doors opened. Heavy footsteps echoed. Everyone turned. A tall, distinguished man in full dress uniform entered. 4 silver stars gleamed on his shoulders. The entire room went silent. I recognized him immediately, General Robert Harlan, one of the most respected leaders in the armed forces. He walked straight to the front, looked at the judge, and said in a calm, commanding voice, "Your Honor, I apologize for the interruption, but I could not allow this proceeding to continue without the truth being heard." Then he turned toward me and saluted. A full, crisp, respectful salute. Tears flooded my eyes as I stood and returned it. The courtroom gasped. Marcus's face went pale. Claire looked like she might faint. General Harlan didn't just salute. He took the stand and spoke with the authority of someone who had led thousands. He confirmed my record, my classified contributions, and the quiet commendations I had received. He called my service exemplary, and my character beyond reproach. He looked directly at my siblings and said, "This woman sacrificed more than you will ever understand, and you chose to repay her with betrayal." The judge didn't need any more evidence. The case was dismissed that same afternoon. My siblings were ordered to cover all legal fees and face potential perjury charges. The inheritance stood as my father intended. But more importantly, the truth finally stood. Marcus and Claire tried to apologize in the parking lot. Their words felt hollow. I looked at them, once my protectors, now strangers, and simply said, "I forgive you, but I will never forget what you did." I walked away without looking back. In the weeks that followed, something beautiful happened. I found peace. Real peace. Not the kind that comes from winning, but from knowing I never needed their validation. My worth wasn't defined by their approval. Today I live quietly. I honor my service in my own way. I mentor young women who want to join the military. And I keep my heart open but wiser. If there's one thing this painful chapter taught me, it's this. Family is not just blood. Family is loyalty, respect, and love. Even when success makes others uncomfortable, sometimes the people who should shield you become the ones holding the sword. But here's the quiet truth I've learned. When you stay true to who you are, the universe has a way of sending guardians, even 4-star ones, to stand with you. Never dim your light, because it blinds someone else. Shine anyway. The right people will salute you. And those who don't, were never meant to stand beside you. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been betrayed by those closest to you, know that you are stronger than their doubt. The truth always finds its way into the light. Until next time, stay strong, stay honest, and never stop rising.